Hi there, welcome back to JD Answers. Today we're going to be installing the HARDWIRE kit for a dash cam on a 2017 Ford Fusion. Before we get started, you're going to need either a circuit tester in which you plug this into the ground, which is usually the bolt on the fuse box, and the other end to a terminal end on a fuse. Or you could also use a multimeter, and again the same way. You hold this down on the ground and this one into the lead into the fuse. Now the reason I'm installing this HARDWIRE kit is because on my wife's car there's a outlet here, power outlet, but that one stays on all the time. And then there's another outlet here, but you would have to put the wire into this console from underneath, and then again that's a lot of wire going back this far. Now in order to use park mode, your power outlet must be on all the time, which is good because this power outlet here stays on all the time. There it goes, this one here. But this car is like the 1990s vehicles where there's only one power outlet to plug in, say your cell phone, a dash cam, somebody else's cell phone at the same time, and there's only one. So we're going to use a HARDWIRE kit, that way it stays on all the time. Now unfortunately the fuse box is not here. It's usually right here on the side or underneath, somewhere here or here. It's nowhere to be found. In order to get to that fuse box, you have to take this part down, this whole bottom here down, and it's actually with some clips. Let me see if I can just pop it out here. Okay, there it goes. Okay, it came out easier because I took it off earlier, and see, these are the clips that hold it. Now once you take that panel off, I'll put a light down there so you can see the fuse panel all the way back there. It has the red, the green, the yellow, all those other fuses. So let me get the circuit tester and we'll get started on this. Well, due to the location of the fuse panel, that it's all the way towards the back, there's no way that I could do a circuit test and let you see the light. The light will be blocked by this bar behind there, and there's no way you're going to see the voltmeter, or I'm sorry, the multimeter in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a different panel but go through the same motions as I would if I was in showing you what I could do in here. So let me do that. I'm at the front fuse box here, and I'm going to show you what I would do normally inside the vehicle. I got my circuit tester, and I also have my multi-reader with me here. The first thing you have to do is ground your circuit tester or multimeter. So let me show you where I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm going to use this ground terminal that goes attached to the body. This is actually the one the battery uses to ground it. Now inside the vehicle you'll have a fuse box, and in the fuse box you'll have bolts that bolted down to the frame. That is what you would be using. So I'm going to attach the ground. Now that I have it grounded, I'm going to zoom in and I can show you exactly what I'm doing. Before we get started, I gotta let you know exactly what we're looking for. There's two types of circuit, a cold circuit and a constant circuit. A cold circuit is when there's no power going to the circuit, in this case the fuse. So when the car is off, the power is off to that fuse. Now a constant would be where there's constant power going to that circuit or fuse. So if your car is on, there's power. When the car is off, it's still getting power. And that is what we want, because we want constant power. That's why we didn't put it inside the vehicle. Because if we would simply plug in our adapter, because the plug-in stays active all the time, it will drain your battery because it's draining power. Now with the hardwire kit, it will stop at a certain point and it will turn off the dash cam or whatever you have plugged in to save the battery. Now when you get off your car and you go inside, it's not going to turn off the dash cam. It will stay on for a good while. So this helps it during park mode. So now that we know what we're looking for, what we're looking for now is a constant power. When I test these fuses, you really need to only test one side, because if one side lights up, the other side will. So, but I'm going to go ahead and just push them on both just so you could see it. So right here, we got to wait for the light to turn on. All right, so we're going to go ahead and test some of these. I'm going to go to one side and no light. And just for argument, we're going to go ahead and check the other one. And right here, you can see there's no light turning on. And again, so we're going to go to the next one. And we're going to test the end. Sorry, you can't see, it's out of focus. And the next side. Again, you only really need to test one side. And you just got to test that little end of the terminal. And you can see right here, that little rectangle shape is all you need to touch. And again, you really need to only test one side, but I just want to show you how it looks. All right, again, same thing. All right, now let's go ahead and jump to the next one. And just to see that we've gone through each one. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go to those front two in the front. There's a yellow and there's a red. And we're going to go ahead and test this yellow one. All right. Nothing's coming on. You can see it right here. And just for argument's sake, we're going to go ahead and test the other one. And nothing. All right. All right, so let's get to the next one, the 20, and bingo, here we go. You can see the light. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put on the other one so you can see how if the light turns on one side, it'll turn on the other side. You only really need to test one. I just wanted to show you that. All right, there you go. All right, now we know which one we could use. Is that constant circuit right there? Is that fuse right there? When you find circuits that are constant in your fuse box, you go to your legend there. As you see here, this one is numbered, coded, so therefore you got to go to the user manual to find out which is the one you need. Now, what you don't want is any fuses that go to, say, airbags. Or you don't want fuses that go to start the vehicle, or any engine components, it's O2 sensors and so forth. Now stuff like radio, even the steering wheel column, to make a tilt, the windows go up and down, those are the ones you would want. Alright, now let's try with the multimeter. For the ground of the multimeter, what I did is I used the clip from the circuit tester to hold down the terminal for the multimeter. For the multimeter, you want to set this to 20. I have the multimeter here. It's already grounded. Now I'm going to test each circuit. Now inside the fuse, inside the cabin, you probably already got 3 or 4 that are constant power, and you have to make a decision which one you're going to use. But let me show you with the multimeter. I'm not going to go through each one because we already gone through that in the previous test. So I'm going to show you one just to show you how it looks when you push the terminal into it. Alright, here we go again. I'm testing it on one side using the multimeter, and again, you only need to test one side, but I want to show you the difference with using this multimeter. And you can see I tested both sides, and as you saw the other one, you only really need to test one side because the light came on both. So let's go back to this red, and you could see how it's going to jump up to 12.76. Now let me show you again. I'm going to test the other side, and it's going to go to the exact same read, 12.76. So again, it's just another example how you only really need to do one side. I did both just to show you how it looks. All right, now we know which one we need, and now we can continue. Now we know which one we need. Now we got to figure out which one has the constant power and which side does not have the power. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this fuse off. The reason we need to know which side has the constant power is because when we plug this in, this is the lead in and this is the constant power. So this side where the red wire comes in has to be plugged in to the constant power side. So let's find which one that is. Okay, I'm trying to get a close-up and put some light in the area. So you can see the multimeter, and there's two outlets. Okay, what we're going to do is put this terminal in there, and we're going to see if there's any power. Now when you put it in there, we have to make sure we're touching metal. You can see that negative sign come up already. That means we're touching metal. Alright, that means there's no power. Now we're going to touch the other side. And you see how the voltage comes up? I think it's a 12.6762. We're going to do it again. And see, this side has the power. Now let's check the other side one more time. Does it go back to 0? We're trying to touch for metal. I got stuck in there. No, nothing. One more time, the other side. There you go. You can see how the voltage just comes up. So that means this is the constant power. Now I have the circuit tester. So I'm going to do is put it inside the other side. And trying to get where you can see. There's no light, as you can see. I'm going to move this around. And nothing. Now I'm going to put it on the other side. There's the light. You see it. So you can see there's power on one side and no power on one side. So this is the lead in with the one with the power. Okay. So the one with the power, it's going to go on this side. And you're going to insert it like this. Because this is the side that has the constant power on the right side, not the left side. No, the right side had the constant power, so that's how you would put it in. Okay, now we're ready to install the fuses. Now we got the right fuse holder. Okay, now the power leading in to this is the constant power, the power line, and in the fuse box where we saw that there was power on one side of the fuse box and then none on the other side. So the side that has the power is going to be on this slot. So that's going to be where they both go in the same slot. Alright. Now for the top, the fuse that we took out of the fuse holder, we're going to put it on the bottom. And we just push it in. Sometimes it's a little tight where you got to just use a flat surface and just push it in with it. Got the next one in here. Going to insert that one on the back side. This is a yellow fuse it came with. I'm using that one. And this one might be a little bit harder. Oh, I got to straighten it out. Okay. There it goes. Alright, let me use a straight the ground real quick. Alright, I pushed it in. It's all the way in. Now again, from the terminals where it comes in, the terminals it comes in, the first fuse is going to be the fuse you took out of the fuse box. The second fuse to the back is whichever fuse you need that came with the packaging. Alright, the next step is to connect these terminals together. All you simply do is push them in, as shown. Move that protective sleeve over a little bit down, the protective plastic. Push it down to cover both ends. Okay, so what I did is to test this for the ground. I got a wire all the way from the battery negative terminal because it was very hard to use the bolt that holds the fuse box. Attach it to an alligator clip and then attach that to the ground. I just want to see if it works. So What I'm going to do now is attach this into the car and see if it works. Just to make sure it works, I'm going to attach the power end, the mini USB, to a Byaku camera just to see if it works, rather than putting all the wires away and it's not even working. So if you hear a sound come on, that means it's working. Okay, ready to install this. I may move the camera because my body may hit it because it's a very tight area. Actually got it in there with no problem. The reason I have the wire going to the right is because the power lead and the constant power was on the right side of this fuse. On the other side, when the fuse is off, there was no power on the left side. So that's why everything's going towards the right. So the fuse is installed. Now let's see if it works. And it should turn on automatically. There it goes. And the car is not on, so the dash cam is working. Now I'm going to put this panel back together. Simply snap it in. The other side snapped in. So now we're going to start from the top. Measure a distance that you think you would need for your dash cam, which for me I think it's going to be about right here. This much length. And then I'm going to go to, since I'm running the wire to the left, I'm going to put the wire on the right side of the rear view mirror. That way when it's going to the left, the rear view mirror the handle is holding it. So I'm going to put it about right here, and then underneath I'm just going to push it in with my hands underneath the headliner. And that's going to start you off there. Now let's get a different angle. Now this is a perfect time to use that pry bar that came with the hardwire kit. So I'm going to put the cable against the headliner here. With this pry bar, I'm simply just going to push it in. That's how easy it is. All the way to the end. Now to the side, we have this A pillar here that we're simply just going to tuck the wire in. I'm going to clip it on this left side first. You see how I put this A pillar down? And then that way I could just slide this wire in. Alright, we got some slack here. All I'm going to do is just pull it. Pull the wire, and then retuck. Retuck. There it is. It's already all the way to the side here. So now let's change our angle. Okay, now that we're on the other side where we see the A pillar, you can see where I took it out here. All we're simply going to do is just tuck it in. Or you can simply just move this headlight, this weather strip proof out. You don't have to pull it all the way out, just enough where you need to put the wire. I slid the wire in here. I could go ahead and now restart and put this weather strip back. And it simply just pops into place. Alright, before we put that all back, I want to go all the way to the bottom. So I'm going to pull this weather strip out a little bit more until the kick plate meets the side, which is right there. So again, I'm going to push the wire behind there, and where the kick plate comes in, I'm going to push it in between. Very tight there. I'm just going to push it with one hand and go in there. And the pry bar, just push it in. It's all the way in. Now I can just put the weather strip back. All we got left is the slack now. And we're going to put it behind here on the top. We're not going to put it by the brake or by the gas pedal. We're going to put all the slack behind there. All the slack is right behind here. You can see some of the wires right here. See how it's on towards the dashboard here, and away from the pedals. All right, looks good. All the wires are hidden. Everything's on the headliner, and it comes over here to the rear view mirror. Now, even if you think you have too much slack, all you got to do is push the slack more underneath the headliner. That's how easy that is. I hope this video was helpful for you. I hope you go ahead and subscribe to this channel, select all notifications for all upcoming videos. If you have any comments about this installation, please leave in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.